I think maybe even Dirty Jersey Rat. Dirty Jersey. Yay! I love that song.
With Haley, I mean, Pat's sweeping for her in a weird way here. Simping Pretty AntiSocial. And if you guys remember, Haley, she had to do this stream where she had to admit to dealing drugs and explain herself and talk about all the trauma.
What? Karl covers this every day. Now he's acting like he's got new people watching this. He don't.
How things were different in her life back then and tell her truth. And she lied. She came out and she said that she was
I like to be this guy in the bottom. Screw with his fake hair, just sits there with he's like a DJ from like the 1950s. The cool glasses and the cool hair.
selling these pain pills that she received for her back. And she was part of the sting operation. And that's how she got snagged in that. And then later that evening, after Haley's 6-hour-long show explaining that she was just dealing, it says heroin in the paperwork, but that's just how North Carolina classifies things. It's heroin / oxy / whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Aaron comes on his show that evening and shows the police report. The police officer wrote up she was caught with 0.1 grams of heroin.
We know all this. Holy shit. We don't know all this? He covers this every day. Who's he think he's talking to? Everybody that watched the show knows all this.
And so Haley then had to go on social media and admit that it was heroin. Then she came on her show again the next Wednesday and explained why she lied and what the lies were and all that kind of stuff. So Pat Dixon's talking to Schmuel Buckman. Now, Schmuel Buckman went to bat for Haley. Schmuel is a big Haley supporter. And so he was just like, this is all that it was. Haley's telling the truth here. You guys got to get off her back. And then it turned out Haley was lying, and Schmuel did an about face like, fuck, all right, I was lied to. I didn't realize. It's kind of shitty. He was kind of bummed about it. So Pat Dixon is going, what's your problem with Haley? I mean, Pat's sweeping for her in a weird way here that I wanted to comment on.
Okay. I have some issues with, like, let's go to the Watergate analogy. Now, okay. I think that comparing a one-day delay from a panicked person in getting to let's go to the Watergate analogy. Now, I think that comparing a one-day delay.
Bob don't even know what Watergate was. He can give you a general thing, Nixon, but Bob doesn't know any specifics about Watergate. That's a fact. That's why he made that sound, because he felt like he was back in school, high school, where he didn't do well.
I have some.
Well, they also kept score. Remember flimsy tips? They keep scoring high school. Bob didn't like it.
Issues with, like, let's go to the Watergate analogy. Now, I think that comparing a one-day delay from a panicked person in getting to being completely forthcoming is not the same as 2.5 years of a president who never did open complete.
Wait, so he's sticking it to Nixon? He's comparing Haley to Nixon, and Nixon should have been more forthcoming.
Completely own up to his role in the Watergate.
How about we all say comparing this to Watergate is pretty crazy to begin with?
This is the Watergate of the Dabbleverse. You didn't know that?
Not Nixon, I suppose. You're correct.
Virtually identical.
I mean, these people like debate stuff, but it really is pointless. It's juvenile. It's pathetic. So comparing what Haley did, and then Pat Dixon did a Haley show today. I guess they did 5 hours. And they were watching, when I checked in, they were watching, I don't remember, but they were just watching it. And I think they were watching Mersh and judging Mersh. And it's like, what? Why are you judging anybody? She should just do a whole different show. She should have like drug addicts and stuff on, because now she's going to act like Mersh is beneath her or something.
That was a little
right, but that's where the term.
I thought it was a bit hyperbolic.
But that's where the term, it's the cover up, not the crime, comes from.
So I agree with Schmuel on this one. I didn't care if she ever sold drugs. I didn't care what kind of drugs she sold. I think
Oh, he agrees with Schmuel. I said that from the get-go. But now he's going to agree with Schmuel, who's saying this 2 weeks later. Again.
But that's where the term, it's the cover-up, not the crime, comes from.
So I agree with Schmuel on this one. I didn't care if she ever sold drugs. I didn't care what kind of drugs she sold. I think that without drug dealers, this country would be a lot more depressed. Yeah. So I'm all for it.
Last part, I guess you should still arrest drug.
Now Karl's cool. He's pro drugs, and but he had no problem with Haley until, remember, they were doing dabble point or this little piggy on that Friday. I do, and the two guys from Watergate, was that Siskel and Ebert, Woodward and Bernstein, Ozone and Permasil were asking those clowns on this little piggy some tough questions. And then they finally had to address what Haley was doing because they want to make it about steel toe. That's a fact. Remember? I do. But now Karl's cool, and he had a problem all along with Haley, and but he's pro drugs because he's cool, and his mom's cool too.
Dealers, but I don't give a fuck about it. Yeah, like it's not my business.
I don't care. Right?
Yeah, Mike.
It was the fact that she came on and lied to everyone. That was the.
No, but Karl didn't have a problem. Until Ozone and Permasil was asking him about it. And then they were like, yeah, well, we did have a problem with it. But he didn't want to address it. He wasn't forthcoming about it until it was brought up on this little piggy. Karl's an absolute clown. I mean, what else can you say? A gay man pretending he's not gay. Listen, being gay in Rochester is not cool. Selling drugs is cool, though.
Part that was like, oh, well, then you kind of lost credibility with that.
Of course, anyway, that's 90% of what we do here. My business.
I don't care. Right?
Yeah, Mike.
It was the fact that she came on and lied to everyone. That was the part that was like, oh, well, then you kind of lost credibility with that.
Of course, anyway, that's 90% of what we do here. By the way, is making fun of people for not handling the situation, a very simple situation.
Right.
Correct.
Well, yeah. So.
And that's really what I thought was happening here, was that Haley said she was going to go on. She was going to make it all clear, right? And didn't. Now, I trusted that she was going to do that. So fault me for not verifying.
Why would you trust?
I was defending her on my show. But go ahead.
I fault you for even mentioning anything about feeling fooled, feeling betrayed, all that shit. If you're going to own what you did, just own that, the end. But what I got was hearing a lot of blame. Now let's talk about cover up, not the crime. You said, I don't judge her for her crime. It's just the cover up, which was, I emphasize this, one day, which seems to be to you profoundly.
One day, it happened 15 years ago. She's been covering up for 15 years in one day. That's the name of today's show. 15 years in one day. She's been covering up for 15 years in one day. Hello? This is Pat Dixon. That's all he wants to do is argue one minor point. And then he thinks he outmaneuvered you. No, because I said it one day. No, it's not one day. It's not one day. First of all, she had been teasing it for a couple of days. About she's going to cover it. And remember, she was sniping her, so she dragged it out. But she had time to think about it. So it's not this one day nonsense.
Disappointing.
Well, he's up early.
So it's Levy verse here.
Bob tries to make a joke. Bob tries to make a joke. And of course, nothing. I like Bob's shadow. I think Bob's shadow is more interesting than Bob.
Day. Which seems to be, to you, profoundly disappointing.
Well, he's up early.
So it's Levy verse here, Bob Levy on there. This is the crazy part about this. So Pat Dixon saying, like, well, she lied, but it was less than 24 hours, and then she admitted the truth. Because she was caught. Yes. The reason why Chad Zumock admitted that Kumi Cutter didn't happen is because he got caught.
Yeah.
She would have kept that lie going in perpetuity if Aaron hadn't gone on his show later that night. But like, well, we got a new document here that we didn't show you yet.
Now they're siding with Aaron Imholt. Now they're siding with Aaron Emholt. Oh my God, this is upside down now. Now they support Aaron Emholt. They're against Haley.
It's not like that minute she was like, I don't know why I'm saying this. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no, I'm covering it up. I'm not being wholly truthful with you.
I love Pat. I just thought that was a wild
He loves Pat. He's got to qualify it. I love Pat.
thing to be like, well, she lied, but just for a little while.
Yeah, I'm surprised Pat doesn't.
Pat just wants to outsmart, outmaneuver one person about 1 point, and then he thinks he's some great debater. No, see, I proved you wrong. I boxed you into a corner.
Surprised he has his take. He doesn't be truthful with you.
I love Pat. I just thought that was a wild thing to be like, well, she lied, but just for a little while.
Yeah, I'm surprised Pat doesn't. I'm surprised he has his take. He doesn't seem like. I don't know if I completely understand what his point is.
That's all he ever does. He argues one little point about something, and then he thinks of, and the other person usually gives up because it's pointless. And then Pat thinks he won. I think he did it to Felicia in their relationship. Hang up the coat. Felicia, hang up the coat. I worked all day. Hang up the coat.
It's a little odd, but I think that Pat is either sweeping or simping or something because, he's in the chat, of course. There's Pat. Schmuel compared it to Watergate. Yeah. We played that part where you compared it to Watergate.
I didn't say anything bad about you, Pat.
I'm just saying it's disappointing that Haley lied because now she has no credibility. And you go, now we know the full truth. How do you know that? Haley came on Wednesday and said, this is what actually happened. And all these things changed. Right. Do we know any of that's true? Because that's a weird story too, where she was only the middleman selling this tiny amount of heroin, but she was set up to just an undercover agent. She never sold it to anyone else. Like, that's not how drug dealing works at all. It sounds ludicrous. But anyway, not the point.
Yes. And the point I was making with the Watergate thing, yeah, obviously it's not as bad as Nixon. Was my point.
We all agree.
Does anyone think that?
We all agree with that.
It's huge.
But I do understand what Schmuel is saying. You know, it wasn't the crime, it's the cover up.
Of course.
Which is why I didn't understand why.
Karl, he understands Schmuel, and he loves Pat Dixon. So he's still officially part of the Get Along gang. That's a fact. Nothing's changed. He's getting along with all these guys. But he even sided with Aaron Emholt.
Our Governor Andrew Cuomo wasn't taken out of office when he admitted to lying about the nursing homes. Oh, sorry, I just started the Gino Bisconte. I apologize for that. Supertip.gg/W8 Governor Andrew Cuomo.
It's huge.
But I do understand what Schmuel is saying. You know, it wasn't the crime, it's the cover up.
Of course.
Which is why I didn't understand why our Governor Andrew Cuomo wasn't taken out of office when he admitted to lying about the nursing homes. Oh, sorry, I just started the Gino Bisconte. I apologize for that.
Yeah, people died in nursing homes. Breaking news, everybody. People died in nursing homes. Cuomo was dumb enough to just, all he had to say was, yeah, people go to nursing homes to die. And next question. Yeah, people in nursing homes died, especially when COVID's running rampant.